In this episode, the Choo Roo gang head out to catch and cook some Australian Yabbies. Although it was late in the season, we still managed to catch enough for a bit of a feast. The night before, we started by blowing the froth off a few and building our own nets from scrap metal. The next day we're off to the land of apples, Lenswood, to a mate's farm where he has a few dams that have supposedly some yabbies in them.
So yabbies crawl up in here, nice and easily. Then when they go to get out, they can't get out.
We trekked through the paddocks to our first dam. We've got some store-bought nets that we had for some time, and of course the ones we made the night before. For bait, we used some leftover chicken carcasses. This one came from one of our poor dead layers. But waste not, want not.
Yabbies.
Yabbies! Yabbies. Nothing left to do now but play the waiting game. And of course, collect some herbs for tonight's recipe.
We need a bag.
We collected some rainwater to bring the yabbies back home and headed back to the apple lands, back to the dams, and picked up an old mate, Kung Fu Paul, along the way.
Yabby. Let's go see if we can pull out some of these little bastards in here. Goddamn bastards. Goddamn bastard yabbies.
We had about 8 or 9 traps in the dams for about 6 hours. Now ideally you'd leave them overnight or even for a day or two and much earlier on in the season, but let's see how we went regardless.
Yabbies! 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 Oh, monster! A monster! Look at the size of that yabby. Now we will throw the little ones back because we only take as much as we need. So we've obviously, look, this one's making a break for it. So what I was saying was we only take as much as we need. A lot of time people overfish and that's the problem because then you don't end up with anything next to you. You might get a heaps good feast for one night and that's the last time you'll ever have them. So we try not to overfish our waters.
We got them back to the car as quickly as we could and put them in some fresh rainwater for the trip home.
Can you believe this little shitty homemade net caught that giant fucking, the rest of them probably swam out.
Yeah, fit into this. Where is it? Oh yeah, every single run I stitched up. For what reason, I don't know.
I just tied mine with some rope. Look how shit it is. This is Latvian Dave, who was kind enough to let us on his property. Now, you didn't think we were going to get too many, huh?
No, because we're out of season. I got told by my old folks that every month that ends in R. So September, October, November, December, and you know.
And here we are in March.
Yes, yeah, here we are in
Mid-March, and we got, what, 30, 40, maybe?
A few.
Enough to try out some Latvian-style recipes, at least. Yabbies! Oi, mate, what are you doing? Don't let him grab your tongue. Don't let him grab you. That's my king. Caught in a homemade trap I made when I was half cut last night.
Wow, he's got a hard shell.
There you go, so we just got to purge him.
Now a lot of people like to cook their yabbies straight away and then just wash out all the poop and yucky bits afterwards, but we personally like to purge the yabbies of all that gunk first by flushing them in fresh rainwater, which we will change every half an hour or so for about 3 or 4 hours. Whilst the yabbies are purging, it's time to prep the broth. Add to cold water enough salt to, as Latvian Dave likes to say, capture the salt of the sea.
So now what I'm going to do is add some dill. Ideally what you want to have is fresh dill, but we had to substitute with this sort of cured sort of dill. We add it to the cold water with salt in it, so it's the taste of the seawater.
Dave, tell us about the onion. What is the onion for?
The onion is just to add a little heat of flavour into the mixture.
Add the onion to the broth and bring to a rolling boil. It's important to get this water really bubbling away, as once you add the yabbies the temperature will drop significantly, so don't worry about overcooking. It's time to strain the yabbies and then add them to your high temperature rolling boiled broth. Adding live crustaceans to boiling water has been quite controversial in the past, but the reality is, if the water is at a very high rolling boil temperature, the yabbies die instantly and painlessly. But if you don't want to see us cooking the yabbies, I suggest clicking ahead in the video. There will be a timestamp in the description. Add the yabbies to the boiling water. Be sure not to overfill your pot, maybe 20 yabbies to 30 at the most in one go. After about 7 to 10 minutes, they will turn red and float to the top. That's how you know they're done. Once cooked, strain them and let them cool for a bit. They will be mighty hot. Peel off the shell like you would a prawn and get stuck in, but before, be sure to remove this little poo line that runs across the back. You eat the meat from the tails and the claws if they're big enough.
Paul, just grab one for a snack, man. Let's just all just fucking eat one. Fuck the footage. Let's just eat one for our sake, and then we can film. It's cruel to have to wait around. Yeah, that's good. Now eat that shit.
Oh.
We don't need to wash them because we purged them.
Yabbies!
As mentioned, you usually only eat the claws and the tail, but I guess Alex the Kid was a little hungrier than the rest of us.
Oh, the dew is delicious.
How's that shell?
Delicious. Yeah.
Wait, we're doing this. We're doing the sign off. Oh, we're going crabs. What do we do for sign off? I don't know. Subscribe to chooroo.com. Check. No, it's not .com. YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Choo
Choo.com.
Choo Roo, check it out. It's pretty. You're already on it because you're
Choo Roo.
watching this video. Oh, eat that. That'd be heaps good for
I'm not
footage.
eating the big one.
Oh, more videos coming soon. Check it out, guys.
I'll put it in his mouth.
No, I want you to eat it.
I'm not eating it.
Why? Would I want to eat it now?
Cause you eat everything. Hakuna Matata, bro. Hakuna Matata, dude.
It's not happening, guys. I already ate one, and
Oh, eat the little one. Eat this one.
no.
Eat that. Oh, you could eat that.
Dude, just because I ate one doesn't mean I'm gonna eat more.
You had one, that's enough now for me.
Here, eat.
Dude, I almost vomited when I ate it.
Eat this.
No, no. I'm not just eating whatever you pass me.
Eat this, bro.
Why is this happening? Alright. You guys win.
Oh no, I totally thought he ate that. You did too, hey, Kung Fu Paul. Alright, well thanks, Latvia and Dave. Kung Fu Paul, Latvia and Dave, Alex the Kid.
Thanks, Dave.
Yabbies!